Hey, everybody, welcome back to the one and only Crash Course Podcast. The voice, the only voice, well, that's very true, the only voice of Collision Service Network. But more importantly, and this is something that we're going to be developing and also going to be building on this year, hopefully, with any luck. We're going to be evolving. All right, what do I mean by that? Well, you know, Crash Course has evolved anyway over the years, right? We were on the radio, and then we've been on podcasts now for a little under a year. So we're gonna continue to evolve, all right? And we're gonna evolve in a good way. I mean, our evolution is always with the goal of providing more and better service and outreach to the folks, because that's what we like to do here, is take care of the folks, all right? You guys, right? Me, you, right? all the working folk out there. So in that light, I like to think that, where our next move is going to be just as important and exciting for the folks, as well as obviously Crash Course Podcasts. All right. We're going to be working more closely with V&J Auto Body. All right. Now, why is that a good thing for you guys? Right. By you guys, I mean our audience out there. Well, because V&J is a pioneer in the industry, right? V&J Auto Body is a leader in a very diversified industry, okay? What do I mean by diversified? I don't want anybody to get scared and run away. We're not going down that road, all right? If you've been following me for a while, you know there's none of that over here, Crash Course. What we mean by diversified is there are so many different types of body shops, right? You got the small little mom and pop shop. You got the medium-sized guy. You got the shop like V&J Auto Body that's trying to position themselves for the future. All right, they're trying to stay ahead of the curve. Blah blah blah. And then you got everybody else. And when I mean everybody else, I mean everybody else. Right? I don't know if anybody's listening to me from Long Island. All right, if you ever been out, South First, South Second Street, Brook Avenue and Deer Park. I know some people are probably laughing, going, I don't know where the fuck these places are. Look it up. GPS it there or Google it, whatever you got to do. Right, but suffice it to say, I'll just fill in the context on that, all right? If you were to drive down there, I swear to God, this is like the land that time forgot. Okay, we used to say that about Ridge. It's another location on Long Island that it was like the land that time forgot, okay? Everything else kept moving, and this place just stood still. Well, that's how these places look. And there were just rows and rows and shops. It's almost like when you go to Jerome Avenue in the Bronx, in the South Bronx. I worked up there for 2 years. Holy shit. I mean, every other business is a body shop. You know, we used to make a joke. You could start at one end of the block and get to the other end and have 8 different prices for the same operation. One guy's going to fix your bumper for $500. The other guy's going to fix it for $100. It was hysterical. So that's what I mean about a very diversified industry. But it's diversified in a bad way today, folks. Okay? It's diversified in a really bad way. All right? And, listen, if you've been following me out there, you know what I mean by this. Okay? Years ago, and I'm talking decades ago, I started in this industry in the mid '80s. All right, decades ago, you could get away with a lot in the body shop industry. All right, I'm just calling it like I see it. All right, slap some plastic on, this and that. I mean, things weren't really, I mean, you didn't really have to be fancy pants to make a living in that industry. Right, fast forward to the 21st century, that's out. All right, that's no more. Okay. And, if you're one of these folks that unfortunately, ends up at one of these places, you could end up very disappointed, to say the least. Disappointed might be the least of your problems. In another way, you could end up in a bad way, safety-wise, and, God forbid, that could translate into something bad on the road, right? Because here in the 21st century, the vehicles that we see today are just light years ahead. I mean, I think of the cartoon, the Jetsons, when I was a kid. George Jetson, and he's flying around this car. We're pretty close to that, right? But, that's kind of like for where I started in the auto body industry to what we see today, that's like it's like being in the George Jetson episode, all right? That's how crazy things have gotten. That's how advanced things have gotten. And it continues to advance, all right, along that, all right, in that vein. All right, things are getting faster, smarter, all right. Also materials, The materials that are utilized in the car are becoming more advanced, more space age, more technical in their application. So, it's that much more, in Crash Course, in my humble opinion, it's that much more significant and important as consumers. We understand, and I've been beating this drum forever, who's fixing your car, Who's fixing it, why they're fixing it the way they want to fix it, all right? And are they fixing it, all right? Are the repairs consistent with industry standards? And, of course, most importantly, are they consistent with what you expect? Is your car going to come out the way you think it should come out? And, folks, I know you might be laughing at that, but it's not funny. You end up in an insurance company shop or worse, some guy on one of those streets that I told you about, or some guy working in the back alley still, and good luck, man. Good luck, all right? Holy shit. I remember years ago already. Years ago. This is how scary this is. This has got to be 16, 15 years ago. And I was at a small shop up in a town here on Long Island, and the guy said to me, you're going to give me pull time? And I looked at the guy. I said, what do you want to pull? I got to pull the rails. I go, the front rails? Yeah. It was a Ford Escape. And at this time, the Ford Escape, they had migrated away from high-strength steel to a little fancy thing. It was actually a material that was developed as a result of the space shuttle. All right, and this stuff, folks, this is what I mean. And this is already 15 years ago. You could actually bounce this stuff in your hands. It was so light. This thing, they had these rail extensions that I think were like 12 or 13 inches by like maybe 4 inches wide and so many inches deep. And it was phenomenal. See, it had tremendous compression strength. They must have got this from Area 51, where the aliens crashed out there. I don't know, but I swear some of this shit they either got from there or God knows where. You could smash this shit all day long, and it just really it wouldn't deform. All right, but tensile strength was like nothing. If you hit it hard, it would literally crack. And it wasn't aluminum. It was a little fancy thing called boron. All right? Anybody heard of that? Boron. So boron started making an appearance 15 years ago, folks. Think about that. Right? Well, this jackass at the shop, he thought he needed time to pull that. And I looked at him. I said, well, what are you going to pull? He's like, the rail. I go, the rail? I said, you try pulling that, you're going to snap it right in half. This guy had no idea what the hell boron was. But there he was, ready to fix the car. All right, now I was an insurance adjuster, right? So I was required to receive continuing training. But this is the point, folks. Now, fast forward to the 21st century, all right, things are even more technical, more crazy. Right? You've heard me say this over and over again, right? They literally can be 7 different types of materials on these cars, folks, in one car. All right, this jackass was trying to fix something he had no idea about 15 years ago. Can you imagine these guys that are out there today? And I know some guys are probably going to start screaming at me, well, we got the Liabras and the other things, and we got this guy and that guy. That's great. That's terrific. Knock yourself out. That's awesome. You get your little magazine, and hopefully, you read it. Most of these guys don't even know how to read, but, if they do read, they're flipping through, looking at the pictures, they're looking at the page-size ads, and then, oh, yeah, there's an article. Whoop! Whoops, they put an article in there. You get 5 pages of advertising and an article. 5 pages of, all right. But, right? I don't know. Maybe you see the article and you say, I got to read that, and you throw the magazine down. You never come back. You never read the article. So, I don't know. But that's great. I get it. Associations, they're supposedly, they're a good thing. They keep a little guy informed. Point is, all right, to wrap this all up from when I started my conversation here today, all right, about us evolving, all right, Crash Course Podcast is going to evolve, and I said this is going to be better because we're going to become a platform for V&J Auto Body, right? So I'm bringing this all around 180 degrees, right back to where we started, okay? And I'm going to bring this all together right now. So what does this all mean? When I said we're going to evolve, we're going to become better, we're going to be able to continue what we're doing, helping the folks, right? Well, the point I was trying to illuminate here is we're going to evolve to become a platform for V&J Auto Body. And why that means Crash Course is going to become even better than it is, and why it's going to become more important for the folks. Well, because V&J Auto Body isn't any of those guys I just told you about, all right? I can assure you, we know what boron is. All right? We know what boron is, aluminum is, high-strength steel, ultra-high-strength steel, mild steel, all right, well-bonding materials, panel bond, all right, rivets, self-piercing rivets, blind rivets, okay, even Kirby and rivet, we know them all right? That's just to name a few fancy pants with respect to materials. So I think this is cool, all right? So stick with us. Like I said, hopefully I see this happening in 2025 here. It's going to be great. All right, you've seen us down at the shop. I think we just did a video. I think it's running now on YouTube. All right, I thought it was a great video. Please go check that out. YouTube, all right, we have an amazing YouTube channel there, but go check out the newest video. It's basically talking about the new building and how that building has finally come online and how amazing it is. It truly is amazing. It's an amazing thing to see, both from an architectural standpoint and a technical standpoint. I mean, the capacity we have in that building from a production standpoint, and also the type of vehicles that we're now going to be able to handle. We're going to be able to take on the largest Sprinter vans that are out there. All right, these things are the largest Ford vans that are out there. All right, the Transits. Ford has some very large Transits. They come in medium and high ceilings. Same with the Sprinter. Sprinter has the extended versions. These things are tremendous. Rivian, all right, V&J Auto Body, all right. We also became Rivian certified at the end of last year. Phenomenal thing. We're doing a lot of, I don't know if anybody see these things on the road. Really pretty bizarre looking vans. But Rivian went out and bought like a crap load of these things. I think 100,000 of them. The Amazon, not Rivian, I'm sorry. Amazon went out and bought a crap load of these Rivian vans. I think they're a little bizarre looking, but I mean, what the hell do I know, right? They got cameras everywhere. It's like a spider. It's got 8 eyes on this thing. I'm not kidding you. No shit. This thing's got cameras everywhere. Cameras everywhere, and still these folks are running into shit. I mean, you can't make this up. Cameras on the side, on the back. I mean, in the front, underneath, and they're just they're just banging these things up. It's hysterical. But I mean, that just goes to show you, right? You can put all the technology you want in these things, and at the end of the day, it's still the idiot behind the wheel. So, but I digress. All right, come back full circle. This is why this new evolution of Crash Course I'm very excited about. So strap in and come along for the ride with us as we grow and expand and become even better than what we are now, right? Which is going to be a platform for V&J. Right now, that doesn't mean, like I said we're going to be better. All right, we're not gonna offload the other stuff. I know toward the end of the year we started to mix things in a little bit here. We did a little political speak, a little what I would say satire, on different themes, and we're going to continue that. All right, we get a lot of feedback on that. People like that. Okay, so we're going to continue mixing that in. All right, but we're gonna be the focal point is going to be on V&J Auto Body. V&J Auto Body, go check them out. All right, VandJAutobody.com. There's also, I believe, there's a virtual tour you can take there. And folks, I don't know what else to say. I mean, there is literally no other business, all right, in this industry that's as prepared, focused, okay, or positioned to take on the future of the auto body industry. All right, and the future in this business is very, very, how can I put it? Very colorful. All right, there are a lot of challenges that are coming at this industry. Okay, and the challenges are coming from both sides. They're coming from the consumer side, and they're coming from the industry side. All right, and thrown in the mix of all that, of course, is the good old insurance company. All right, so a lot of different moving parts, and it's becoming a very difficult industry to navigate. It's becoming a very difficult industry to operate and be profitable in. All right, profit margins keep shrinking, which to me is really a kick in the ass. Right, the profit margins are shrinking. The cost of repairing these vehicles, the average cost keeps going up. The materials that are involved keep becoming more advanced. Right? I mean, check it out. So the technology packages in the cars become more and more sophisticated. Right? So what does that usually translate into? Translates into good paying jobs, right? Not so in the auto body industry. Not so. All right, now V&J Auto Body, again, this is why we're evolving there. V&J Auto Body, very, very different company, folks. Very different company. Very employee focused, right? They got a full benefits package. I got to tell you, I worked in the insurance industry 30 years. I don't really see much of a difference working at V&J anymore. Full benefits, full insurance packages available, the whole 9 yards. They offer 401. You get a pension after 20 years. No, I'm only kidding. That's that's not happening. But there is a career path. We can continually try and court younger people and provide them with a career path if they think this is something they're interested in. So, and in that light, also V&J Auto Body is currently looking to establish relationships with technical schools, vocational schools, and things like that. So, stick around. It's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of really cool stuff, cool videos, all kinds of interviews coming down the road. We're going to have more guests on. In fact, let me get this out there right away before I forget. We're going to have a very interesting guest on Crash Course next week. I'm totally psyched about this, so stick around. Make sure you check it out. All right, we're going to have an employee from V&J Auto Body here with us in studio, and we're going to have a real blast. All right, she's been with the company for 20 years. And her job is very, very important. It's also a very, very specialized job. And it's also a job that you don't see in many, many other shops. Okay? But at V&J Auto Body, all right, it is a job that provides a tremendous service for our customers as well as for the business. All right? So we're going to have her here, Donna, next week. And that's going to be really cool to see. We're going to have a good time with that. So make sure you check us out on that because there's going to be a whole host of stuff going on there. I mean, me and her, we get together. There's no telling what the hell is going to happen. All right, so check that out. Hey, listen, a couple things to get off my chest here. I got some shit I want to unpack. All right, and this is serious. Okay, this is, this just drives me nuts. I don't even know. Telling you, man, green tea, man. Anybody drink green tea out there? Drink green tea without sugar. I swear it's like the fountain of youth, this crap. Anyway, what was I saying? Yeah, so I got some shit I got to unpack. And it's really shit I got to unpack here. All right? Now, I might have beaten this already a couple times, but I got to keep bringing this. I got to keep hoisting this out of the bag of tricks back here. Folks, listen up. All right? 2 things. 1, your insurance premium. Okay, listen up. Hello. I can't tell you how many people are coming into my shop on a daily basis and their cars are wrecked or their cars are hit, and right away, what do I get? I need an estimate. And I tell them, do you have insurance? Yeah, I can't use the insurance. Why not? Did they told you couldn't use it this year? No, I can't. What do you mean you can't? You can or you won't? Well, my rates are going to go up. Great. Hey, here's a news flash, folks. Is your rate going to go up $3,000? If I tell you to fix your problem on your car, it's $3,500. Are you getting a $3,500 increase? If you are, you might want to consider this, I don't know, either, getting another insurance company or maybe just getting a bicycle. I don't know what to tell you, but, listen, I got a guy in my shop gets around a bicycle. But seriously, folks, listen up, all right? This is the biggest... I don't even know. That's why I said I had so much shit to unpack here. This has got to be the single worst, all right? And I mean this. The single, and I've been at V&J 10 years. The single worst issue I've dealt with on the body shop side, and I've dealt with a lot of quirky stuff coming from the insurance and the body shop side. This one here has got to be way up there. I think this goes way above anything else. All right, this bullshit, and this is what this is, folks. It's bullshit about, well, my insurance is going to go up. Hey, newsflash. All right, I did a show on this a while back. Insurance rates have gone up 45%. Hello, 45% since 2021. Okay, did you get that? 45%. Everybody, I don't give a damn. I don't care if you're the best driver in the world. I don't care if you've never been involved in an accident. You never even got a speeding ticket, a parking ticket. Good for you. All right? Great for you. It doesn't matter. They're raising rates. In fact, guess what was a headline yesterday? Insurance companies expect rates to go up 5 to 10% this year. Woo! Here we go again. Folks, premiums have gone up exorbitantly for everybody. I don't give a shit if you're assigned risk, no risk, been with the company 20 years, 2 days. It doesn't matter. They're raising your rates. So you know what I say to people? I say to you, the folks, remember what I said? We look out for the folks. Utilize what you pay for. Insurance is a benefit. It's a service. Unfortunately, for most of us, we don't realize the benefit. We don't realize what we pay for until we have to actually use it. All right? Now, I know it's a difficult concept for people to get their head around. People just knee-jerk pay for this stuff. I get it. Believe me, before I got involved in the industry, I didn't know. I just wrote the check. There you go. You got insurance? Sure do. Here you go. All right? And that's a problem, and that's what we're trying to change that here. I've been trying to change that now for 2.5 freaking years. All right? But, folks, this really grinds my gears, this shit. All right? Irrespective of who you are, whether you're driver of the year or, you've been with your company for 30 years and they send you free mugs and all kinds of shit, they don't care. Your rates are going up. They've gone up. All right? But you're paying for this. So if you get into a situation, right, and you come to me and you need $4,000 worth of work, they shouldn't be paying for that. Okay? This would be like you paying off a balance, or I'm going to go even more absurd. This would be like you having a mortgage on your house, but you don't live in the house. I'm paying the mortgage. Oh, great. Where's the house? I don't know. It's out east somewhere. What do you mean? I don't live in it, but I'm paying the mortgage every month. Oh, do you use it in the summer? No, we don't use it at all. I rent an apartment. I mean, who the hell would do that, right? It's the same shit, folks. You're doing the same thing. Insurance is a benefit that we pay for. It's a benefit that only comes into use when we need it. All right? I get it. All right? Got it. But for you to turn around after paying premium for 10 years, 5 years, 2, I don't give a shit if you paid it for 6 months, and now you have a need and you decide to pay for yourself, all right? Well, that borders on absurd, to say the least, okay? Now, I can still say this, right? This doesn't apply universally anymore. It used to, unfortunately. Sadly, it doesn't. But still, as a principle of insurance companies do not raise rates based on severity. What do I mean by that? Well, if you go down the road and you get in an accident, and I write up an estimate for $5,000, okay? The insurance company pays you $5,000, you pay your deductible of $500, all right? So they actually only pay you $4,500. It's another thing, folks. Remember I talked about this. In their books, on their books, in their accounting office, right? They record $4,500. They don't record $5,000, but that's another issue for another day. So you get an estimate. They pay out $5,000. All right. You write the estimate. You find, oh my God, $5,000. Holy shit. The insurance company, underwriting. Okay, listen up. This is important. They don't. And again, it's not a universal principle anymore, all right? Unfortunately, sadly. It used to be. But still, for the most part, insurance companies do not raise rates based on severity. So whether they pay you $1 or $60,000, it doesn't matter. What matters to them is frequency and at fault, okay? So if you're having a lot of accidents and you're always at fault, well, you got a problem, okay? All right, you got a problem. I'm not going to lie. There's no splitting hairs there. All right, but if you had a couple accidents, all right, some guy blew a stop sign, slams into you, and then he has no insurance. You got to use your insurance. Okay, that's not your fault. right? The other guy, backs into you, takes out your doors, not your fault, right? You come out from the mall and holy shit, the bumper's hanging off, not your fault, right? Or let's go one step forward. Let's say it is your fault, right? Driving down the road, you lose control, bam, you hit a rock, you hit a bush, or whatever the hell you do, you hit a pole, tree. That is your fault, right? They pay out $6,000. Folks, they're not looking at the $6,000 for a possible rate increase. They're looking at the at fault. What happened? Well, it's a single car collision. Okay, great. What happened though? Well, it was a snowstorm, it was icy out, and car lost control and went off the road and struck a tree. All right. Happens, right? Underwriting's going to look at that. They're going to look at a bunch of other stuff, and maybe you get a rate increase, maybe you don't. Other side of that equation, the other side of that coin is you're just driving down the road and you see a red light. Fuck this, I ain't stopping. There's never nobody around here. Bam, you take out a guy. Well, guess what? Whether they pay out $1 or $20,000, you're getting a rate increase, okay? All right, that was basically disregarding a traffic control device and everything else. And forget it. God forbid you throw in an injury and everything, you're screwed. But the point here is, folks, I want everybody, and this is why I said I unpack this shit, because I want people to understand that you're paying for these. Your premium dollars are constantly being accumulated by the insurance company. And the principle of insurance is what? It's the principle of large numbers, right? Well, the principle of insurance is the concept of large numbers. It means a whole bunch of us pay a little bit so that the assholes that run around wrapping up their cars can get taken care of, right? I mean, that's it. That's insurance, okay? So you're not helping anybody. You're not helping yourself, all right? You are helping the insurance company. You're not doing shit for yourself, all right? So please, if something happens to your car, you get in an accident, it happens, and you come see me, all right? Don't ask me how much because you're thinking about paying out of pocket. It's not going to change things. It's not going to move the needle in any other direction. And all you're doing is you're basically diluting the money that you paid every day as a premium dollar. You're diluting the value of that investment, the value of that service by deciding to pay that $4 or $5 grand to me instead of having the insurance company. All right, so stop it. It's not working, folks. Okay? Rates are going up all over the place. Since 2021, they're up 45%. They're going up 5 or 10% again this year, and God knows where we'll be next year. All right? It's just not happening. The insurance industry right now is topsy-turvy. They're dealing with probably the most expensive cars they've ever insured in their lifetime, all right, with actually a reduction in I wouldn't say reduction in premium, but cars are getting more expensive to fix, all right, and the premium dollars that they're able to collect are starting to. It's kind of like in political science we have this thing called the law of diminishing value. All right, I've really heard of that. So it's almost like that's what's happening in the insurance industry, right? So they're throwing one tantrum after another. They don't know what the hell to do here. Right? Their go-to was always we need a rate increase. The problem is their rate increases are starting to get to a point where it's the law of diminishing returns, right? I mean, well, how high are you going to raise these rates? You're going to charge $10,000, $20,000 a year? It's absurd, right? But that's a problem for them to deal with. That's not your problem. Don't help them with their problems. Remember I always tell you? They don't need any help. So, folks, please, what are we going to do, right? From now on, we get in an accident, we're going to file an insurance claim. All right? It's not helping you. It's having no effect. And God knows your premium is never going to go up thousands of dollars. All right? I think we're going to wrap it up from there. Folks, remember, check us out on the next episode. We're going to have a really cool guest. All right? And we're going to have a good time with that. And you're going to learn a lot, and it's going to be a lot of fun. All right? See you on the next round.